What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Pop Culture Corner. Today, I am joined by a couple friends. One, Syl Abdul, who we've had a conversation before. It was really, really fun, and we got down to talking about a lot of stuff. And I liked it so much that I wanted to do it again. And this time, he's brought around his friend and Geekosity creator, editor-in-chief, creator, both. Mikey Sutton. I've met Mikey on Matt Jarbo's show, and I really enjoy his stuff. So today, on the heels of a somewhat upsetting MCU iteration with the Eternals, we'll be getting into some of that as well as the DCU stuff and where the where our franchises are going, pretty much where they're headed and what might be in store to come. Before we do that, as always, guys, make sure to like this video, share it on social media so your friends, family, and Mephisto can watch along with us. And if you want to help support the show, you can become a member or send a super chat. We do it for you. We do it for the culture. My man, Syl and Mikey, I'm going to switch you around again. Why does it do that? So, long night, guys. Long night.
Like and share. Okay.
Yeah, all that. I hate doing the intro, man. I don't like doing it. It makes me uncomfortable, like in my bones, because I don't like asking people for stuff. So, yeah, I like I was saying, man, Eternals, really getting hammered by the critics. The audience score seems to be a little bit better than that. I know 2/3 of us have seen Eternals. I'm seeing that a couple of people don't want spoilers, but that's what I do. I don't spoil. I'll give you a forewarning. I'm just saying I do want to talk about the movie. So, no, I know I'm an asshole. But
I tell you, I got a lot of flack yesterday for that article that we ran about a certain actor in a certain film, and people thought it was a spoiler, and I'm like, it's been out for like weeks now.
It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Which one is that?
The first post-credit scene.
Yeah.
That reveal.
I mean, I heard about that a couple. Maybe a week.
If you was on the internet, you heard about it a couple weeks
now,
ago.
if I said the other appearance, that would have been a spoiler, but you know.
No, So I was actually telling Syl before the show started that I had seen that Chloe Zhao confirmed who the voice was, and I mean, I don't want to say it here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. I know. I was just about to say it.
I'm not going to say it, but if you haven't seen the movie already, you know, like I said, we're probably going to be talking about a little bit of Eternals. I don't really want to give like plot details away. I don't think that's necessary, but
I'll keep it general. Yeah.
Keep it general, yeah. But there are there was a lot of stuff that took me out of the movie. There were some things that kept me entertained. But Syl, what did you think of the movie overall?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, overall, like I said, I thought I actually had a solid. The first scene was actually solid. And again, no spoilers, obviously, but I just thought it had a pretty solid start, and then I felt it was downhill from there. Going to the second act, just the different developments. The story I thought was really story choices. When we talk spoilers, we can go more specific, but just, was it a preference thing that I rather the movie go a different way? Maybe that's part of it, but a lot of critics are they may have their reasons why they don't like it. Mikey has a theory, but so I just feel just like I said, for me, this was one of the bottom half films that I've seen this year. It wasn't nothing that really blew me away, and there's a mixed audience reaction, I could say at the very least. So
For sure. And you could definitely see that with like the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, especially where I think it even dropped down to like 50% for critic score, which
I think it's under 50 now.
It's under 50. Oh my
yeah, I
lord!
think it's the last thing I saw. Yeah,
Kevin Feige
it's probably 51%, something like that. But yeah,
Kevin Feige didn't shell out enough money to the critics this time.
Yeah.
So
critics and money, that may be factors. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mikey, I don't know.
But it seems it's okay. So with the past, like including Black Widow and then Shang-Chi, and here we are at Eternals, the past 3 MCU films, they haven't, like, Shang-Chi was good. Like I really enjoyed Shang-Chi.
I love that film. Yeah.
But
Shang-Chi, yeah.
Yeah, if you, I mean, I don't know if I'm speaking for all of us or just me, but if you were to compare like Shang-Chi with some of the other top tier MCU films, it comes close, but no cigar.
Yeah.
And it seems that this phase of the MCU has really, I don't know, just are people uninterested, or are they falling off the bandwagon? Are they bored with the characters? What do you think is going on?
I think we're going through a transitional phase. We're saying goodbye to some of the old actors and the old story arc that we had the Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War. We're done with that. We're moving on to. I think change always has a difficult time being processed with people. It's like, whoa, what's
For
this?
sure.
We're not used to this.
For sure.
And I haven't seen Eternals yet, but I heard that it is probably the least MCU-ish of all the films. I mean, it's very different. But you know what? Change is needed. To keep the formula fresh, you have to keep adding on to it, taking different directions. I mean, I haven't seen the movie yet, but I already applaud the ambition in going in an entirely different direction, because we're seeing new worlds that they're exploring here.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue on. And I think Kevin Feige likes to gamble. He always loves to gamble because he knows that if he keeps trying out the same thing, it's going to burn out. 'Cause everything burns out in the end, right?
Eventually, yeah.
Eventually, yeah. I mean, the Westerns died out in the 50s or whatever, right?
Mhm.
Until in the 70s when Clint Eastwood came out and Sergio Leone and kind of did a new kind of Western. So you have to keep, like, changing the formula, so to speak, right?
Right. Moving the goalposts and
Moving the
expanding.
goalposts. There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Expanding the horizons. And for the most part, like, I'm definitely more of a DC person, but for the most part, the MCU is like, it's been gratifying throughout the years, like it's been fun to watch. Yeah, it's not dark, it's not deep, there's no Christopher Nolan twists and turns, but for the most part, it's generally kept me excited and looking forward to the next installment. However, the past 3 have like, no, I don't know. I don't know if it's like just me, but it seems like I'm not excited anymore. I'm just waiting for the next one. Not anticipating, but just waiting. Hopefully that'll change with Spider-Man No Way Home. I know this one's a big news topic almost every single goddamn day now. There's another villain that's added, or
oh my goodness.
I mean, what's going on with that movie?
I've been tracking that story where Mikey was just.
Do you guys really think that all this stuff is actually happening in this movie?
Everything now. I mean,
I would say most of it is. If you look at the running time for the film, it's longer than Eternals. So I mean, it's a long film with a lot to pack in. That was one of the concerns that I had. Is like, how are they going to put all this stuff in one movie? Because as we saw with Amazing Spider-Man 2, which was really overstuffed, there it comes to a point where, man, this is too much. Like, slow down there,
No, exactly.
Exactly. But in regards to, let me backtrack a little bit though. I think if there's any, I I don't know, maybe lack of enthusiasm, or maybe, relatively speaking, compared to what it was before in terms of the MCU, is because we're coming off the highest point ever for a franchise. We came from Endgame. I mean, you want to say it started off with Winter Soldier, right? From that Winter Soldier on to Endgame. My God, that's like Chicago Bulls in the '90s.
For
Okay,
sure. Dude, exactly.
Michael Jordan, man. You
Right.
know, and so now we're like reloading. Okay, we're reloading for the next, and we're gonna hit those highs again. Like when Spider-Man: No Way Home comes out, that's gonna be one of those big milestone films. Certainly when Secret Wars comes out, that's gonna be humongous.
That's another one I'm actually
Secret
really
Wars.
anticipating. I know
Yeah,
Samuel L. Jackson is filming in production on it
Oh, you
now.
talking about Secret Invasion type?
Secret Invasion. I mean Secret Wars.
I was talking. Did you say
Yeah.
Secret Wars?
Yeah, Secret Wars.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I was thinking
Secret
Secret
Wars is gonna
Invasion.
be like from everything that I haven't even scooped yet. It is batshit crazy, and
So, do you think that's where they're moving towards?
yeah,
Like as the next Infinity, or the next saga, I should
yeah,
say.
He said, does he think Sy
Or does he know?
yeah, yeah.
I
No, no. Here's the thing, though, Tyler. Let me tell you this: before we hit Secret Wars, you're gonna have Annihilation before that one.
remember
Which
when
is
people thought Endgame was going to be called Annihilation.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly right.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was, I think it was Jeremy Conrad who said that. Nice, speculative, but no.
Right. He tried.
But what I find very intriguing about what they're doing right now is that they have a couple of different story arcs that are going to launch into different event films. Um, yeah, the cosmic stuff will become the Annihilation Wave or whatever they want to call it. The comic book, that's where you have Captain Marvel. Um, you have all these other cosmic character, Adam Warlock, which they're introducing, and then that
Mhm.
I don't want to spoil it, but somebody shows up in Eternals. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, where it goes off in that direction. Then you have the supernatural horror stuff that they're doing. They're going to do on Disney Plus, which began with WandaVision. Then it's going to go into Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, and it's got all that much darker stuff that they're going to explore, and that's going to lead into the Planet of the Symbiotes. I mean, and Marvel Zombies, which we already had hinted at in What If. So
Right. A
yeah,
subpar attempt at it, but
it's exhausting,
well,
Then
that's
you go to DC. What you got planned? No hour,
No.
man.
I'm like I said, I'm a huge DC guy, and it
Yeah.
really it really saddens me to see how discombobulated
Oh
it can
God.
be.
God.
Do
Yeah.
do you know anything regarding like what's going on with the merger, or what plans may be after this completes? Hopefully, 2022.
Yeah, 2022, you can pretty much say goodbye to what Syl calls the clown table, which is Toby Emmerich and Walter Hamada and Sarnoff. And, and this isn't like some kind of wishful thinking here. No, they're gone. Uh, we're seeing already, what I keep forgetting how to pronounce his last name. So just to clarify, everybody out there, I just call him Lava Man because he's gonna go Pompeii on everybody's ass. So I just call him that. So when I say Lava Man, I mean the CEO of Discovery.
Zaslav, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I keep forgetting his name. I don't know why, but the Z throws me off. I just don't like
Celia.
you're Lava Man to me. Okay, you're gonna go Pompeii and then on the clown table. So
Do you think he'll keep Walter Hamada around?
no, he's gone.
Yeah.
People,
And
all right. So I'll say this, because I got a lot. I know I got a lot of flack the other day
Yeah.
from someone who I thought was supposed to be a friend of mine. That's Casey Walsh, who's been really ridiculing me about even having you guys on the show.
oh
Right?
Yeah.
wow.
Openly, he's
I
not
thought we
hiding
was-
it either.
I thought we was past that, KC.
I thought we were past it too, and it really saddened me. But he's trying to tell me that like what I think is happening with the DCU is all lies. It's all made up. And that these people aren't aren't going to get fired, and all these other things. And I'm like, I have a hard time seeing Toby Emmerich or Walter Hamada being in charge after this.
Well, it's like, it's not even a scoop at this point. It's the fact that this is a major merger. The day they announced the merger, May of in this year, leaks came out that Zaza was bringing in like a nearly entirely different, senior exec level people in.
Right.
Like that's been a well-known fact this whole time. So everybody wasn't going to make it. Jason Keeler immediately started looking for a job. As soon as they announced the merger, and he's
literally
at the very top, of Warner Media, he's the very top. And then Zaza was just quoted a couple of days ago naming a new chief financial officer. He's bringing the one from Discovery. And they already have one in Warner Media. So he publicly said that he's coming in. Someone else just lost a job. That's actually the number 2 person in power in Warner Media. So does Walter Hamada has a chance under this pyramid? You knocked out the 2 powerful people in Warner Media already. So anyone else can get it below them.
Right. And I mean, people are saying that Walter Hamada just didn't have the tools necessary to do the job correctly.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with that, but at the same time, I'm not going to dismiss the fact that he hasn't really done anything great with the DC brand.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
There's so many opportunities for great storytelling with this IP, and it's fallen flat. Like Stargirl just ended. Stargirl, the season 2 of Stargirl, I thought it was up there with some of the best content for DC.
Yeah, it was
of the year, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah,
right.
Except for the
because it's not that great of a show. I'll be honest with you.
The season finale
it didn't end great. No,
the ending was. I coined a new phrase: "burn the toast." So instead of jump the shark, I guess they burned the toast because turning Eclipse. Oh, sorry, spoiler.
It's been out, right?
It's been out for a couple of days, so I don't know.
Otherwise, I had a solid season until that. Like Jeff Johns, what are you thinking? Yeah,
right.
But you're right though. What has Walter Hamada done? He didn't want the Joker to get made. He was not into the Joker at all.
And he basically sold off what most of the he didn't. He basically made it so DC didn't really profit off of it, right?
Yeah.
So
right. Yeah. Well, yeah. The way it's financed,
you're
DC
right.
Didn't
Exactly.
get next to nothing for the Joker.
People are like, oh, look at how much money it made. It's like, well, it didn't actually make that much money for Warner because of what he did and how he didn't have faith in the film and didn't want it to see the light of day. So he tried his best to make it not work, and it still worked. I mean,
yeah, I asked an insider this before I started scooping on Syl's show. I said, it was, right when the merger was announced, I said, do you think Walter Hamada will be kept? And one of my sources who works at Warner told me, why would AT&T sell Warner if they want to keep the same people? They're selling it off because they're not happy with what's going on. And who's up there? Toby Emmerich, who was looking for a job at Netflix at the time.
That story came out again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he knew the writing was on the wall. He found out before Keeler that the merger was coming.
Yeah. David Geffen, hey,
right. The writing's on the wall. Yeah.
Another thing that's really big off the press right now. And I was actually reading one of your articles today about it. And that's the Air cut. It seems like, with everything, because last time Syl came on, I believe it was right around James Gunn's Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah.
So we talked about that.
I really million years ago now.
Yeah. I thought that movie was going to murder the box office, and it didn't. And, I mean, I don't know how you guys felt about it, felt about the film. Well, I know how Syl feels, but I enjoyed it. And I was like, this is going to be good for everybody. Everybody's going to like this one. And it didn't really, the money wasn't there. It's not that people didn't like it, but the money wasn't there. So do you think there is a chance for the air cut to see the light of day? Because I mean, I was reading your article, so I kind of know what you're thinking. But
Yeah, it'll be after the merger. I'm not sure if you know this DC fandom. A lot of people were disappointed, especially Syl was disappointed. I had a stroke during the broadcast, so
oh my god,
yeah,
That's
I
how
had a
bad it
mini
was.
stroke during
What?
the YouTube show. So I was
It's
rushed to the
rough.
hospital
I
before we did the wrap up.
I hope you're okay.
I'm
Just
okay now. I recovered,
okay,
but
okay,
in any case, I heard that they were prevented from announcing a lot of things because the merger hadn't gone through yet. Because some of these things might be canceled. Um, you might get pumped paid by lava, man. So they couldn't. All they could announce are projects they greenlit before the merger was announced.
right.
So that's why you didn't see the air cut being announced because, yeah, actually Warner Media is for releasing it now, but
They're
they can't.
for releasing it.
They are for releasing it now, but they can't. They
Mhm.
can't make any decisions like that until the merger, because they don't know what Discovery thinks. I mean, they announced it, all of a sudden he'll cancel. It's not a good look, right?
That wouldn't be a good look. You're right,
Right.
Yeah,
especially from a fan standpoint. Like,
yeah,
because it's not just a regular movie at this point. It's
yeah.
something the fans are campaigning. It'd be like, all right, yeah, the Snyder Cut's coming out, and then you take it back. That's almost like slapping someone in the face.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
would
and
be a
then-
very bad look.
Yeah, and the reason why, despite all the Emmerich's reservations or this dislike of Snyder and his fans in general, um, they see that air cut as something that could bring subscribers to HBO Max. I mean, that's what they look at to capitalize on it,
And that's
And-
always been the thing, right?
Yeah,
If you're trying to compete with these behemoths like
Yeah.
Netflix and now Disney Plus and even Hulu and Amazon now, right? You have so many competitors. This seems like it'd be an easy win. And even if it didn't do so well, all right. Like you still took the chance and you took the risk.
Yep.
And fans will see that and be like, all right, I think I could trust this company. I think they know what I want to see.
Yeah.
And they took a chance on it.
Mhm.
Do you think that they would put as much money, or would they need to put as much money into the air cut as they did the Snyder Cut?
No, nowhere near.
Not nearly.
It's already done.
And
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, an interesting part too is that they after the Suicide Squad didn't do very well, they did their research on why it didn't do well. Like why did it fail? Because you had a huge Rotten Tomatoes critic score, right? I mean, people were buzzing about it, and then it comes out and it just went like, so I told Syl, Walter Hamada had his hopes up, but the ruling on the field was a fumble. I mean.
Right.
It didn't strike fire at all. And you know what happened? It wasn't the film was bad. It's because to the general public, two things: the marketing was not good, okay? Because saying it's by James Gunn was like, to the general public, that meant nothing to them.
Right.
It's not like he's Spielberg, right? Or
He's not.
Some
Yeah.
not some auteur out here.
yeah, like Christopher Nolan, right?
I think they were banking on the Guardians of the Galaxy.
They were,
tag.
yeah. But what I'm hearing is that the biggest reason why the general public didn't go out and see it is because Will Smith was not in it.
No
And
way.
I think people really underestimated the power of Will Smith in terms of box office appeal. He brought people in the door to the original.
For sure.
Right?
First, I'm a huge Will Smith shill. Like,
yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, I
There
love
you go.
Will.
he's my like I strive to be like him.
Mhm.
I've always been drawn to his success and his style.
Oh, yeah,
And
he's awesome. Yeah.
I even like his music. Don't
Yeah, music is great.
yeah,
No, it
don't
is.
stab me, anybody.
That's when you know you're a super
No, I
fan.
love
at
his
that
music.
point.
For Will Smith, yeah. But people do underestimate his box office draw.
They did.
And a lot of people, like when they saw Idris Elba, they kind of were like, "Is that supposed to be Will Smith?"
Right. Well,
And-
that's crazy
Yeah.
because Will Smith said publicly about that he was down to do the sequel, but another film came in, right? And so
the
he's
schedule.
like, he's like, if y'all can delay the shoot, I can do the sequel, and they decided to move on from Will Smith. So
Right.
Yeah, they
Here's
call it
something-
Will Smith sequel syndrome. Like when Will Smith is not in the sequel, it flops.
Right,
In
Independence
Independence
Day.
Day,
It's so true.
right?
Oh my god! Even think about that. Men in Black.
Men in Black, yep, yeah.
Men in Black. The
reboot, yeah,
the reboot with Hemsworth.
Oh yeah. If
You
don't
think
have
that?
Will
Yeah, no,
Smith,
they no Will Smith. Like, oh, I'm not gonna.
They were
see
like,
it.
yeah, shut it down. I don't care. Shut it down.
But people were
and-
wondering where Will Smith was. Like, what is this film? Why is
Right.
there a giant starfish in there and Will Smith is not in there? I mean, so
but-
anyway, Hamada was got a lot of hot water over that. I mean, they were not happy with the way they spent what $280 million or something like that. It was a huge budget on that film, and what did you spend it on? I mean,
right. Exactly.
and then no Will Smith. I mean, that was a big thing. It was like you can make a great sequel all you want, but people want Will Smith in the film that he originated in.
Does that bode well for a Deadshot return? I think so.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
I think if people were let down by the Suicide Squad because he wasn't in it, this has probably propelled it forward a little bit in saying,
Yeah.
okay, Deadshot needs to be included in some way if we do another one of these.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're trying to figure out how to save the franchise, right? Because Peacemaker's not going to do it. I mean, I'm sure it's going to do
That bill's
okay,
coming
but but the buzz, I can tell you on the front lines, you know, the gossiping. Like I know what people are looking for. They're not looking for Peacemaker. I'm sorry. You know?
They're not.
They're
No,
not.
they're for sure not.
No.
I mean,
But
I'll
it-
watch it because I'm a fan. Like I'm a
Yeah.
diehard fan.
If I
but-
catch it, yeah.
But to the regular, like I feel like a lot of these people don't realize we have to look at it from a general audience's perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Will
yeah.
Peacemaker stand out to them and be like, well, now I got to get HBO?
Yeah.
Not likely.
Can't miss that now. No. Yeah, they're hoping the Ayer cut would, you know, help rebuild Suicide. The irony, right? The irony of it all is the Ayer cut is going to be the one to rebuild the name of Suicide Squad, and pave the way for a Deadshot show on HBO Max. I mean,
Oh,
can you imagine
yes.
how many people would watch Will Smith in a Deadshot show? It'd be huge.
That would be a huge property. Let's start campaigning for that.
There you go. There you go.
Hashtag make the Deadshot.
Make a
series.
Deadshot. Hey, it's a cool phrase there. Make a Deadshot. I like that. So
Yeah.
go with it.
Actually, that transitions me a little bit. I think something that we all want to know, or we all want to just talk about, is Ben Affleck's Batman and his future in the DCU.
Yeah.
Even me and my friends are having disagreements. Some of them think that Keaton's going to take over. I
No.
find that blasphemous.
Yeah, you won't.
Take over.
Take over as the DCEU Batman. The flag.
Put him in a wheelchair and you know.
Yes.
Bro.
Because what we're
He'll be Oracle.
We're gonna run 20 years in the future.
Like in a wheelchair.
That's
And
what
then
we
Barbara
said.
Ford like putting each other on wheelchairs.
They think
Oh
that's
my
what the
God,
people
no.
want. That's what the people want.
because when we have a complaint about an old Batman, what's our first move? Get an older one.
Get
Yeah.
another
Right?
one. There you go.
Get an
There's
older
solution.
one.
Get a new one, but 20 years older.
My God. But
I
I
see a,
I can't get the picture of Michael Keaton as Oracle out of my head.
I
that's
can't either.
crazy. Ty, I see a question that keeps popping up about Pistol, Lero. If
That's the
everything's
one I was going to talk about.
on
actually.
hold. Well, what was announced? I think that's probably the first question. Nothing,
He had
right?
another
Yeah.
thing that popped up that I was going to bring up. Oh,
They should wait till
right
something's
here.
announced, then you can have that conversation.
So if
Yeah.
everything is held till the merger, how is the Black Adam producer teasing spin-off announcements?
Yeah, what was announced? That's all. I was
So he
asking.
didn't
They
say
already
he didn't say anything
specific.
specific, but he said
Yeah.
in the coming weeks expect
Right.
to hear something about potential spin-offs and where the story could go.
I'll be
Yeah.
surprised if there's like an official now. I'm just saying me personally. Maybe it'll leak out through Deadline, Variety. But yeah, that's my
No,
thoughts on that.
Much of that was already agreed to, before the film was even shot because it's The Rock. You
Right.
know?
He does have a lot of pull and a lot of
He's got a lot of
swag.
pull. Like, there's gonna be a Dr. Fate. Okay, oops, did I just say that? Anyway. I didn't say that. You didn't hear me say Dr.
Hawkman, Dr. Fate.
I mean,
Which
A
one?
lot
Which
of
other? That's
people
another
don't
one.
know who Dr. Fate is,
Yeah.
like general audience people.
No, I don't. Yeah.
So I think they're going to be surprised when Black Adam comes and they see how dope he is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that could be a hidden future property for them.
Yeah.
But I think they would have to wait to see what the reaction was.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
maybe for Hawkman, I don't know. Aldous Hodge is, relatively known by most people. So maybe they could do a spinoff with Hawkman, maybe even Hawkgirl. I think that would be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, keep in mind that a lot of this stuff they'll leak to deadline and it'll be like, but it won't be officially announced yet. So it'll just be like kind of a, and it's just things that they've already discussed with The Rock before.
What is this? Mikey, can you share your, what is that, bourbon? With Ty about what happens when Michael Keaton fighting Ben Affleck?
That was a nice report there,
It was
Mike.
a controversial scoop from months ago
Yep.
that they're gonna have they're gonna have a scene where Michael Keaton fights Ben Affleck. I mean, it was like a very very brief scene where Michael Keaton basically tells Ben Affleck, "You're my bitch."
No way.
Yes, and
See, like now you made it worse, Mike.
yeah,
You
this this is their way of showing Michael Keaton as the ultimate Batman, right? It's a I know it's gonna offend the younger viewers out there for the older fans. I remember the day I said this on Soul Show and the
Oh,
cringe
man.
on his face.
I'm still getting messages from people like that can't be true, right? That Keaton's gonna best Batfleck. I was like, hey, that's the report, y'all.
Now using his brain and knowledge, okay, not physical ability. So let's put it that way.
I don't even think I can.
So much. How you have to wonder, is Ben Affleck one of the two idiots that Andy was talking about?
They're right, but the two idiots.
Right? Tyler's like so shocked right now.
I couldn't even picture it. I mean, let's face it. With the Flash movie, do you think? Because talk about oversaturating or overstuffing. Do you think that that's going to suffer hard from this? Too much story, too many characters.
That's the problem, right? It's like a Frankenstein type of movie. Mike, I was covering a lot of stories Mikey did over a year ago. How much they was planning on jamming into this film then. And then since then, the stories went through, rewrites, and I think they've added more stuff than what Mikey was talking about. So I think there's gonna be parts I like, parts I'm not gonna like about this film already. So we'll see. We'll see what we get.
Well, I mean, what did you think about the little teaser that they gave us at DC Fandom?
That was, I would say, the tone. Because Ty, you heard about that leaked video where Warner Bros. Was flagging everybody that was sharing it, where Andy Muschietti was talking about, and he was talking about we joke about that Supergirl and two idiots. Was a running joke with that, right? People are still mad at us and who's laughing about that, but it's like we thought it'd be kind of like a goofy tone. Then, like, what are we doing with this two idiots talk?
Right.
This teaser had a little more serious tone to it. It was really, a big build up to Keaton, his new like mech suit or whatever he's gonna have.
Right.
So I was like, hey, I was impressed by the tonal choice, and then you see the second Barry scoop that Mikey put out there a long time ago,
and I did.
That's confirmed. Yeah.
Right. I did want to say that was pretty neat because I did read that article back when you did write it or post it. And then to see that the second Barry was there, I was like, okay, that gives a little bit more credence because I feel like scoopers, no, for real though, like in a reality, once you get validation and confirmation, then people will start taking you seriously. And it seems like a lot of your scoops, Mikey, they do end up coming true. And
thank you. Well, it's just work,
It gives you credence, which I find to be, and that's why I like talking to you guys.
I'll add too. Oh, sorry about that, Tom.
I don't hold beefs like a lot of these people do. And
it's a weird thing with content creators.
It's really bizarre because I came out of nowhere. Like just that one fateful day where I posted about Spiderman. because I had contacts at Sony and Disney and who told me that it's just pulling for leverage. Sony is just pulling for leverage. He's really not going to go anywhere. I posted that just kind of randomly. Like I'm usually private with my scoops back then. I had no intention of making a career out of this.
Right.
Had no idea the impact it would make like that. Like overnight, I was like on Yahoo.com. I was like, "What the hell is happening here?" You
Right.
know? And
That had
back
to be a
then,
weird feeling.
I was just like, I was just some guy on Facebook. I didn't have a site. You know what I mean?
Right.
But man, everybody went after me, right? Everybody. Like, I don't even know you guys. Like, I had no idea like, who Jeremy Conrad was. I mean,
Jeremy
crazy.
Conrad is the Geeks and Gamers kid, right?
No, he's an MCU
No,
Cosmic.
Oh,
he
okay.
thinks somebody else. Yeah.
Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. I don't know
Yeah,
that kid's
I
over.
don't know him either. Like, I met Jarbo through that scoop. I met Syl later on through that scoop. Like, all these people I met through that. And obviously the website and everything. But the Flash, look, I'm a little concerned about the Flash. And I'm a DC fan as well. Actually, I prefer DC comics over Marvel. I know it's blasphemy to some people, but
Mm.
I'm a big DC fan. Grew up on Alan Moore, Neil Gaiman, big influence
Hell
on
yeah.
mine. But the Flash, okay. When I started scooping the Flash, it changed. It's changed a lot since then, right?
Of course.
And then Andy's wife Barbara said, "Oh yeah, we made so many changes during the shutdown because of COVID. They kept changing the script. Like Ben Affleck was supposed to die, and the Snyderverse was going to get erased,
Phased out. Yeah.
phased out, and then they saw the Snyder cut and blew them away. Like, oh no, no, we're not. We're not going to do that. Um, but I'm just concerned because of so many cooks in the kitchen. But what is this movie going to be like, right? Like Frankenstein still is the best term to describe it.
For sure. No, truly. And so I guess what a lot of people hope or want is that the Flash does not step on the Snyder Cut's toes and doesn't erase it.
It's going to pay homage to it, actually. So.
In a good way.
In a good way, yeah.
And do you think that there is a chance that we see Ben Affleck again in the suit?
Yes.
Potentially in the Batgirl series, which I would.
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, in your opinion, we don't need to know anything other than that.
Sure.
Do you think that there could be a chance Zack would ever come back after this merger is complete, and if the terms were right, and he had some time after whatever Rebel Moon or the Army of the Dead 10?
Yeah, it's not even an opinion anymore. I mean, I've heard from multiple sources that he is going to get a meeting at the table, talk with. I guess I just call him Lava Man. I know it sounds unprofessional, but I keep forgetting his name. But they're going to discuss like what can we do to bring you back on board, because one of the important things, and he said this publicly, is to repair the relationships that we lost. That's what he said that immediately.
Who does that make you think of right away?
Nolan, Zack.
Snyder,
True.
And Ray Fisher. Those three. I mean, immediately I think of, how do we repair that damage? Because that's one of the things that AT&T hated. They hated all the scandal. Like, why do we buy into this? Like these creators don't want to work with us anymore.
The biggest names too.
Our biggest name, Nolan. They lost Nolan. How can you lose Nolan?
Yeah, somebody has to get fired for that.
That's a huge draw. Is his films, and the Warner Brothers tag at the beginning.
Yeah.
But leave it to everyone. They say, well, that means nothing. This merger means nothing. It's just, no. I think a lot of signs are pointing to some change.
Right. And as stated before, for Zaslav coming in, I think a lot of people worried that the Discovery brand isn't as serious. It's not, people think that he's not gonna invest a lot of money into these things. And I'm like, I mean, you have the biggest names in pop culture in Batman and Superman. If that's not where most of your money's going at this time in movie making, then you probably need someone to be advising you.
Well, it's about or how about hire a Kevin Mayer, the person that
So
launched
he launched Disney Plus.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good sign.
He's not joking around, you know.
Yeah.
Here's what I find in hilarious, Ty, is that
But he's not going to spend money.
people expect a lot of them to behave like he did with Discovery. I mean, that's like saying James Gunn at Marvel Studios would make the same movie as Slither. He has money. He's not going to do the same film. Look at the Suicide Squad with its $200 million plus budget. That's nothing. I mean, the style is there, but his ambitions are far greater now that he has the money, right?
Right. And that's only natural.
Yeah.
And I think people are very scared. People just don't like change. And it's like, you guys have been petitioning for Walter Hamada to be fired. And now that the time may be coming, now you're pulling back.
Ty, it's like it's crazy in a sense because like there's a lot of people, like I said, in the Snyder fandom. I'm a part of that hashtag campaign, all everything.
Right.
So I get it. The years we was waiting for the Snyder cut, but we're getting a little too many conspiracies from Snyder DC fans about what does this line mean from Zazzov? What do you think this means? It's a merger. The top two people was already fired.
Yeah.
They're moving these assets because it has not been performing properly. Change is coming. On top of that, Mikey was probably told that several times too. So it's all lining up. It's beyond a scoop at this point. This is the earth-shattering change you needed for DC content. You're getting it, and people are still doubting it. So
right, and that's what I can't understand is like when those comments from Ann Sarnoff came out, and it was like, no, this is the end of the Snyderverse. No, we're not developing a David Ayer Suicide Squad. And then what? 2 weeks later, it's announced that the merger's happening, and all these pieces were now in the correct places.
So something changed, and that's what people don't realize. Like, things actually can change, like with reports, with scoops. Like sometimes maybe instead of this character development, they're going to do it another direction. Doesn't throw the whole story off. It's just something changed. The things have changed, and so that's what we're seeing. Because people they swear up and down, like this is one thing people that say like something ain't supposed to change. At DC fandom was in 2020. Zack said we was getting the Snyder cut in 4 parts. He said this live. There's still video of him when he said that. That was the plan, right? Something changed, and now we got a full film together. So when people go off quotes that Zack said, early spring. Something changed after early spring. The merger was announced in May, so just kind of logically follow that progression.
Exactly.
Figuratively, not you, Tyler.
Yeah, in a merger, a bloodbath always happens. Okay, every merger, people get fired left and right. It's just nature of the business. The new CEO coming in is gonna put his own people in there. So why is there any doubt that Hamada or Sarnoff are going to be gone? Come on, it's a merger.
And they already said he's bringing in his major execs. I mean, Ann's gone. That whole I showed on my show the other day, just a chart of Warner Media, like all the top execs. I saw that just 2 blocks is gone, and I was like, you got to get further down that pyramid, and you see Ann Sarnoff. So I mean, her days are literally numbered. With basically her boss is already gone.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you think that could like? If I was on a ship that was literally sinking, wouldn't you try to like scorch earth it, right? So, I mean, do you think that in the next year that the current regime could do something that would affect after the merger, or is that no? There's no way that they could do something that would affect after they're gone. For instance, like someone like making sure Jeff Johns stays around. A lot of people don't like him, and they don't like what he represents.
Well, there are contracts. I mean, people do have to realize that, like that, people do have to finish out their contracts, or they may get, this whole synergy deal. When the merger's announced, they may end hundreds of contracts in the building, right? So it's like you gotta, kind of gradually follow what's going on with that. But I think in the meantime, they're going to fulfill, like Keelar said, it's business as usual. Until the merger is complete. So they're going to be pumping everything, Dune, now everything else that's going on. because they do got to fulfill their contract, and a
They
lot
still
of them
gotta
probably
make
have
money.
stocks. They probably a lot of them have stock. Keelar is going to get like $10 billion of like AT&T stock when he leaves.
Golden parachute there, you
So
know.
he's going to pump up the brand even on his way out the door.
I wouldn't mind
because,
having that much stock in AT&T.
Yeah, so Keelar's fine. Yeah, I'm not mind him getting fired. He's
It's
gonna
funny
be
because the day before that was announced, I told Syl on chat in the middle of the night, Keeler's gone.
Right.
Mhm. Yep.
Like daddy going out for some cigarettes. He's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone
There you
now.
go. There
He
you
ain't
go.
coming back.
But no one else can get fired. I mean, I guess if everyone wants to be all
Well,
hesitant about any good news. No one else though.
Yeah, regarding Zack Snyder though, is a lot of man has no personal beef with him at all. I mean, he just looks at data, like the numbers, like how many, how much money did this bring in, and what kind of excitement is it creating. The thing is, Warner Media, the old regime, the current regime, they don't look at social media for all the excitement towards this, all this. They don't like social media. Let's put it that way, because of all the criticisms against them and all the hatred against them. Um, Whereas, a lot of them, he looks at that stuff. He looks at what's popular, what's creating a buzz with the young people today, because he knows those are for subscribers. Those are people who are going to subscribe to
And
the
he's
channel.
bringing in Kevin Mayer,
Disney
who
Plus. I mean,
launched Disney. What else did Kevin Mayer did? Mikey, he negotiated the purchases of Disney
and Fox
and
and
Marvel and
yeah,
He
everything.
brokered those deals.
Yes.
He
For
And
real?
successfully launched Disney Plus. Yes.
Yep.
This is a big deal.
He coordinated the purchase of Marvel, of Lucasfilm, Pixar, and Fox. That's how big this guy is, and
then launched Disney Plus.
I wonder why a lot of people aren't talking about that then.
They don't, because they don't investigate the business side of it like Syl and I do, because we're both, when it comes to creative projects, it all begins with the money. You follow the money trail. That's how I get my scoops. I track the money people down. I don't try and get a hold of the director or anything like that.
I mean, the hottest selling physical media this year is Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think
he
trends
every single other day.
Yeah.
It's hard not to look at that and be like, well, I wonder if there's money there.
I will tell you this, Ty. From what I heard, Lava Man was really puzzled by this J.J. Abrams Black Superman thing.
As we all are.
Because how he sees it as a licensing problem, because people have an image of Superman around the world of what Superman is. Now, the old regime wanted to make that Black Superman be Superman for the company, and he's like puzzled, like, this is not Superman. And which is why Michael B. Jordan was like, no, this is Bel Zab. I'm not going to do Superman. That's just not right, He sees it, but Emmerich and Hamada, they don't see it at all.
Right. It's almost like, and I'm not saying like diversity isn't needed, because it is.
It is. It is very much so. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But when you have Henry Cavill as a Superman, and a Superman that people enjoy, and Henry Cavill himself is in demand right now.
Oh God, yeah.
Every studio wants a piece of limb, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Warner Brothers is the only idiots that are willing to just throw that away. I'm all for seeing Val Zod or another incarnation of a different, maybe multiverse Superman, but Henry needs to be there as well.
Yeah,
like that's my line.
Yeah. You already have Superman.
You already have Clark. Yeah, you already have Clark Kent. If you want to do Val Zod or Calvin Ellis, that's okay with me. But we need to still have Henry, and that's my problem with DC. Is as of right now, the current regime, it's like they're building a house with no foundation anymore.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
They want to greenlight Batgirl, and they want to greenlight Blue Beetle. It's like, how about tell me who my Justice League is? Who are the main team? Like, is Ben Affleck around anymore? Is Henry Cavill around anymore? We know that Jason's staying. We know that Gal's staying. Where's Ray Fisher's future? Ezra is getting a movie. It's like everything's so much up in the air. It's hard to stay focused and on track. And I couldn't even imagine being a general audience member. Honestly, I couldn't.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah, it's one of the things that Lava Man, when he would explain to him what was going on, he just was like, huh? You know, like,
and who wouldn't? Who
like
wouldn't scratch their head and be like,
exactly. And he mentioned that he doesn't want to make anything complicated and difficult to understand. He's looking at the general public here. He's not looking at the hardcore fans.
right,
You have to get those regular people, or you're dead. You're dead. I mean,
exactly. Like, because that's what Marvel has done so well
yeah.
is they've taken this comic book movie franchise, all these properties, and they've
Mhm.
made them into household names.
Yeah, yeah.
Like who would have thought that Groot would be a household name? Groot of
Yeah,
all
yeah.
characters in all the lands, Groot is now something little kids know about, older people know about, like anyone. You would ask anyone who Groot is, they're like, oh, he's a Guardian of the Galaxy, right? That's a little Chris Pratt. And
Well,
it's
even Rocket Raccoon, that's a really obscure character as
for
well.
sure.
And all the kids have Rocket Raccoon teddy bears and stuff. I mean,
Hmm.
it's like
And
rich touching bonanza there, you know.
yeah, so I mean, is d- is there a solution in the works for
Mhm.
like for DC? How do we move forward and not have it be too convoluted or too hard to understand?
Well, there's two parts of this. Number one, I scooped this a year ago with actually Syl, you're still covering me. Um,
Mhm.
The Rock really wanted a cohesive cinematic universe. He was a big part of the Snyderverse being restored because he likes the Snyderverse. He likes that cohesive MCU type format where it all connects, right? Um, but the thing is, so does the new Discovery CEO. He wants that. So I think going forward, what you're going to see is when the merger goes through, you're going to see a reformatting of the way things used to be, um, and then have all this talent um, to, I wouldn't say reboot, maybe kind of softly reboot the franchise, and have someone there besides Hamada in charge of this because Hamada didn't want a cohesive universe at all. He was confused by it all. Like the work that it takes to put all this together is monumental.
Yeah,
And
Mhm.
he didn't want to do that. You know.
exactly. I couldn't even imagine how much goes into it, and I feel like that a lot of fans think they could do it better, and it's like you don't know what goes into all this stuff. Like
God.
it is a lot of work, but I mean, I feel like DC just they had a plan and then they got really cold feet
Yeah.
and tried to fix it, made it worse, reconciled, and now we're in like the state of limbo.
Well, it really the downfall started with Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice. By the way, still I couldn't help it. I saw the Ultimate Edition,
All right.
and it is absolutely brilliant
Yes.
film.
You hadn't
Why?
seen the Ultimate Edition?
Yeah, finally saw it. Why didn't they
Woo!
release that movie? Why didn't they release?
Billion
See,
dollars right there.
that's where
That's the question.
they screwed the pooch right there. I mean, they screwed they messed up. Beginning with that, then they had Joss Whedon do his bastardized version of Justice League.
Ugh.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
it's the people in charge that screwed it up. They were blaming Zack Snyder for screwing it up. They did,
It
but
wasn't him, it was
it wasn't
them.
him at all. He made great movies.
Right.
Um, and I didn't
Mhm.
like Dawn of Justice. And I saw it first day in the theater. I didn't like it. I love it. Now I'm like, this is a totally different movie.
Right, because it
Mhm.
fills in where it needed to be.
Yes, exactly.
Those moments where in the theater it seemed to skip a beat.
Yes,
All of
yes.
a sudden now everything was like a little bit more fleshed out and you knew like the whole desert scene.
Yeah.
Why would you cut any of that?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't
It
get it.
it literally contexted the rest of the film.
Yeah.
So,
And it flows so smoothly too. Like why
Yep.
there's nothing boring there. Why get rid of it? I mean it makes the film much more easy to
Yeah, we kind of
understand.
fleshed out. Yeah, the Lex
yeah,
storyline, the Lois
Yeah.
storyline.
it's a little bit
Clark.
longer, but I mean, look at what he was trying to do is with I mean, that story feels a little crowded, but with those extra 30, 45 minutes,
Hmm.
you understand it more. Like it's
Yeah.
easier to watch and it flows.
And
And that's why,
I like Lex better here now too.
yeah,
Mhm.
I mean,
Right?
I can't say enough about the Ultimate Edition. I think
It's
that's
brilliant. It's a brilliant film. I love it. Yeah.
No one should watch the theatrical cut. It should not exist.
No.
Only the Ultimate Edition if you want to understand Zack. And that's the thing is, sometimes I don't think people truly understand his filmmaking ability. And I mean, you look at movies. Did you guys both see Dune?
Haven't seen it yet.
Masterpiece.
I mean, those movies of that caliber, I think our audiences are ready for it finally. Like, really, maybe not as action packed, but tells a brilliant story. Does it visually just? I mean, I can't. This is one guy I can't say his name, so I'm with you. Denny.
Villeneuve. I know his name now.
Yeah, his
I
visuals.
Call him Denny V. I call him Denny V.
Denny V. Yeah, Denny V.
I call him Dennis Vanilla Fudge Wavers.
I use the Americanized form, so it's Dennis Villanueva is what it would say in if you bastardized it in English.
Sounds correct to me. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Dennis Villanueva. I think that's a cool name, man.
It is actually.
But Dune was one of those movies where you actually had to think, and the way the story unfolded was just magnificent.
It was a great story. Yeah,
magnificent.
Everything was great.
I mean, so what I've heard is a rumor of four total films. Do you think this is an IP that they're really going to tap into?
Yes. Lava Man loves the film, loves the IP. Again, anything that he can extend to other, programs or films, he loves. And I have to head out in a minute here. Before I do, Syl and I have been talking about New Gods on our show on Rose Gallery. New Gods is something that after the merger comes through, expect exciting things from that franchise, because Lava Man sees that as a potential Game of Thrones for DC films. And
do you think that they would try to do an HBO Max series rather than a feature film?
I would say spin-offs, but expect a lot of things from New God. That's just all I can say. I mean, there's a lot of discussion about it. I know the film was canceled for various reasons, which too much to go into right now. They still can fill you in when I have to get going. But but New Gods they're going forward with that after the merger in a very big way. And it's those franchises. I didn't know this, so a lot of man's a big science fiction fan. I had no idea.
Really?
I just found that out. He's really into science fiction.
I love that.
So
because
what a great person to have on as your boss, right?
For real though, because I'm a huge sci-fi fan as well. I don't know. Yeah. And listen, this is completely off topic, but if I give a recommendation to everyone, Apple TV Plus has this new show called Invasion. Yeah. Probably one of the best science fiction shows I've ever seen.
I haven't seen it yet.
Check it out.
I heard great things about that too.
It's so good. So good. Today episode 5 or 6 came out, and I mean the show just keeps changing the game.
I'm gonna check that out after
definitely check it out. Apple TV Plus is it's up and coming. I mean, they got C with Jason Momoa, which is really good. The morning show, which if you're not like a drama fan, you probably wouldn't like, but it's a great show.
Yeah,
the new show Foundation is really good. They're swinging on all cylinders.
When I was a kid back in the 80s, I kept hearing about the Foundation books from Isaac Asimov. I never imagined it'd become a TV show.
Yeah, and it's good too. It's really good. And then they have that new movie with Tom Hanks called Finch.
Yeah, I want to see that.
They're popping on all cylinders right now. So if you haven't already, subscribe to Apple TV Plus. Typically, if you buy a new iPhone, you'll get it for free for a year. So definitely use that, guys, because it's awesome. Definitely a great platform, and I think they're going to do great things. Apple has all the money in the world, so
the streaming wars are here, man. They're gonna get more and more crazy.
So they're gonna gobble up someone.
Wait till Disney Plus say, "Holy crap!"
I know. I cannot wait for. I know one of our fans here, Mr. Gonzalez. He's always talking about Disney Plus Day. I can't wait for it either.
Oh, yeah.
But Mikey, I know you gotta
Yeah.
head out. I would love to have you back sometime
I love
soon,
you
man.
back. Yeah, thank you so much for having me here in Syl. I mean, it's been great fun, and
Yeah.
y- yeah, Syl and I have a show on tomorrow, right? So we have the
Geek
Ghostly Live
Streets.
Geek Streets. Okay, I keep getting her show.
Yeah, plug it. What is it called?
Oh, Geek Streets tomorrow. Time is tentative tomorrow, Mikey. I'll
Yeah,
talk to you about that later.
yeah, we did a box office report, and then I'm on Lords of the Long Box on Sunday at 5 o'clock. We're gonna discuss Adam Warlock in the MCU. And I also have the official release date of my comic book. I'm going to announce it on the show.
You're
Dope.
doing a comic book?
Oh, yeah, it's called Dreamwalker, and it's
I think it's
coming.
done.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Well,
Actually,
I would definitely love to check that out.
thank you. Yeah, I'll send you some the artwork for it, so you can take
Hell yeah.
take a look at it. It's a hardcore horror comic. Yeah, it's pretty dark.
All right, my
So,
man. I
all right.
really look forward to it, and I
Thank you,
look forward to
Ty.
talking to you soon.
You take care, guys. See you soon.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Damn it! You know I didn't create a background for just me and you.
Well, have a good day.
We're going dark. Silly melons.
I can't do her justice. That's blasphemous.
No, we'll keep it dark in here. We probably got 15 minutes left or something like that.
Cool.
But I mean, actually, you know what? If you haven't seen Eternals, I'm gonna give you a couple seconds to get out because I'm about to spoil it for you. All right? Because I haven't been able to talk about it with anybody.
You ready to spoil it?
I haven't talked about it. I'm not going to spoil plots, but I want to talk about the post-credit sequences a little bit.
Yes.
So if you haven't seen Eternals and you don't want the post-credit scene spoiled for you,
that's already kind of out there. But,
out now. 3, 2, 1. All right. So anyone who's left, I would assume, has already seen Eternals, and I'm going to go on that assumption. So Syl and I were talking about post-credit sequences and how I think Shang-Chi and Eternals really sowed and planted the seeds for something that's coming in the future, and something I'm actually looking forward to. What did you think? So first off, the first one plays almost right away,
right.
And you know there's a couple Eternals on the ship, and then is it Pip the troll?
Yeah, Pip, I guess Pip, yeah.
He kind of like stumbles out, and he's voiced by Patton Oswalt, who is, I mean, just
that's actually a good part though. Yeah, that's actually a good part.
That's a good one for him.
Yeah.
And then slowly behind him, he announces that he's the herald for Star Fox. And Star Fox is the brother of Thanos, cousin of Thanos. So that's a huge. I think they're kind of trying to wrap up the Infinity Saga a little bit, and they're pushing pieces forward. So
right.
I mean, what did you think of that first post-credit sequence?
Yeah, that was cool. That gave me. I think anytime, since I'm a comic book fan, anytime a film can kind of send me back to the long box of comics, like, oh, I remember. Okay, his relation to this person, and brother of Thanos, and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, that was a nice, post-credit scene there.
For sure.
And I'm pretty sure they're going to do a lot with that particular Harry Styles.
Yeah, I didn't know that was Harry Styles. I didn't know that until later on. When
this leaked out. If people, don't know, if you was on the internet 2 weeks ago, you knew Harry Styles was in the post-credit scene. Because that's all they were spoiling online the next day. So, so that surprise wasn't there. But just to say, okay, nice setup. With Pip the Troll, and then like I said, I think he's going to do a lot more.
Yeah, and Pip is directly tied to Adam Warlock, and Adam Warlock we know is coming in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, played by that kid. Yeah,
that one guy.
He was in Maze Runner. I can never remember his name.
I know he was in Detroit. I know.
Yeah, he was in that movie. Yep. That kid is playing Adam Warlock. So this is not the last time we'll see Pip the Troll. I think it's kind of. I'm kind of wondering how Star Fox and him came together in the MCU. Because Star Fox is from Titan, and
Right.
where Thanos is from, and
The
you know
whole story there that they could do.
yeah, and he talked Will Poulter, thank you.
The
And
eyebrow guy.
yeah,
Thanks, Reese.
yeah. So Star Fox talks to the Eternals and says, and he assures them by saying, I have a, basically has a piece of eternal technology, and he knows where their friends are or where the other Eternals are.
Right.
And then they kind of leave it at that. And I mean, could you see Eternals getting a second movie? Or would this storyline pick up in some other?
The story is going to continue because, I mean, I guess spoiler alert, it says that the Eternals are returning at the end of the post-credit scene, at the last post-credit scene. And so I know they're going to do more. I know at the very least some spin-off, something on Disney Plus for sure. Doesn't mean it has to be a series. They may do like they're going to do feature length films also for Disney Plus, also for, in Marvel and Star Wars too. So just because it's on Disney Plus, it may still be a film.
Right.
But I think we're going to see most of these characters again. Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I thought the characters could be developed. I just don't think Chloe Zhao is the exact right choice. She may be a fan of the books, and she may be this or that. I just don't think her style and her creativity matches up with what Marvel Studios is looking for.
And that's no knock on like I said, her ability.
No, not at all.
But it's sort of like the Ava DuVernay thing, though. It's like where Ava, she did, kind of a smaller budget film, did great, got Academy Award nominations and all this stuff off Selma. And then you get a lot more money and do a bigger budget, Wrinkle in Time, and she really didn't do that well, with that, just translating that story.
Exactly.
Sometimes, you don't always have to step up. Chloe Zhao, which is Nomadland.
Yeah.
Was filmed like with a camcorder. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude,
people lost their minds about that movie.
Hey, maybe she's a great storyteller because she wrote part of this Eternals also. Maybe she's great like this auteur director. But this is an L to me for her.
You think that's an L?
I think this is an L.
Okay. You did give it you gave it a 2.5 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. So that's lower than 50% you gave it. That's kind of where it's hovering right now at the critic score. I gave it a 7.3, and I think I'm being over gracious.
You're being really nice.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
And I think nice to that movie.
I think there was a lot of cool parts. I didn't really. Icarus and Robert Madden did not sit well with me. I found him to be really flat. One noted, didn't get too much out of him in the story, didn't care too much about it, and he's directly tied to something big in the film. So when that happened, I just didn't care. I was more interested in seeing Kit Harington, honestly, and where that was going to go.
Right.
And that brings us to the next post-credit sequence. And so we do see Kit Harington. So Syl and I were talking about it. The final scene in Eternals kind of sets up that. So it kind of like finishes telling it just in the post-credit sequence. And we see Kit walk in, or Dane Whitman walk in, and there's this big chest, and he opens it, and there's the what is it called?
Some kind of special blade.
Yeah, it's something. I know the name of it too. It's a sword. It's a big sword.
Yeah,
it's wrapped in bandages. And he touches it, some energy comes off. But then there's a voice in the background that says, Mr. Whitman, do you really want to do that? Or are you really ready to do that? Or something like that. And then it just goes blank, and then it says Eternals will be returning. So Chloe has confirmed that was Blade that said that. So
That's
Mahershala
crazy.
Ali's Blade. I have the quote from it, unless they totally misrepresented it and just made this up. I don't see how they could do that from an actual trade. But they said that it could be. So she just said Blade. So I guess it doesn't necessarily mean Mahershala Ali's Blade, but I mean, who else?
He's Blade.
Yeah. So Like so Ebony Blade. I didn't even think of that. I guess that could be true. But she said that it's from the quote was that it was from her favorite superhero or something like that. So I think
I didn't
that's
see the full. You just told me before we came on about Chloe Zhao's quote.
yeah. Let me.
So I didn't read that yet.
I can airdrop it to myself.
All right.
Let me see here. Where do I go? There we go. Right here. So we can read it together and make a decision. I got it. The way it's phrased, I would highly doubt that it's anyone but Mahershala Ali's Blade. This is just the one that I grabbed. Eternals director Chloe Zhao has since confirmed the identity of the voice at the end of the film. In an interview with Fandom, she said that was the voice of one of my favorite superheroes, Mr. Blade himself. Blade, Blade, Blade. Yeah, so there you have it. Your very first, very brief tease of Mahershala Ali's upcoming Blade.
And you say it may be hitting towards Blade. It says Blade like 5 times.
Yeah.
Right
So if this isn't any clear, and then by the way, if you do go back and listen to it, and then try to listen to Mahershala Ali's voice, it does match up. We did
right because the voice it was kind of the not the best execution for that post credit scene.
Yeah.
It's just like what like who said that? We don't know.
Right, and my first guess was maybe Nick Fury, but why wouldn't they show him?
I thought it was Nick Fury. That's the way. Like you just hear a voice, you don't.
And
see
he's
anything.
off world right now,
Right.
So it's like, how could it have been him? Unless
that's a little weird.
Yeah, but then again, it is superhero world, so anything can happen, right?
Yeah.
Bruce Banner's all of a sudden Bruce Banner again. So
Exactly.
in the Shang-Chi after credit scene, so anything is possible. So my list was maybe it was Nick Fury. I scratched that one out. And then my second thought was maybe it's someone we've never seen before or someone who's not cast, who hasn't been cast yet, because why would they just do the voice like that? And then I started thinking, I'm like, huh. And I thought Blade for a brief second because Black Knight and Blade did run into each other in a couple storylines, directly tied to the sword in one of them. So that's when I saw this quote, I was like, yeah, give me that. If that's Blade, like if that's our first introduction to him, that's a solid win.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean that they're, again, the MCU is going to connect, and it seems like they really set up that character that's going to be, in a Blade story. So
yep.
Looking forward to it.
I would love that. Speaking, before we wrap up, do you think a PG-13 Blade's going to work?
No, I mean, well, it's like you almost got to have like the blood factor, in a Blade film. So I just think, it'll be hard to have that be PG-13 and be true to the character. So, I mean, if they found out a way to do it, we'll see. But
I mean we could take a look at Morbius and like see how they like, because Morbius
that looks like a hard PG-13.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a harder PG-13. So I mean maybe we can kind of gauge it a little bit on how they do it with Morbius, even though it's Sony. Kind of get a feel for could a PG-13 Blade actually work? For me in my heart, I say no.
I just don't see it happening. Now, people use the example. I guess it's kind of like the flip side, but they're saying like, okay, with Daredevil, because everyone should know, Charlie Cox is coming back. Like that's starting to not become a scoop at this point. I think everyone's starting to hear it, all insiders. But they're gonna do a new Daredevil show on Disney Plus, and people are like automatically like, oh, Disney, they're gonna mess up Daredevil. But you could make a Daredevil, less bloody or less people getting head smashed in cars. You could do that, and I think still could work. Blade, I don't know, if you really can fit it inside a box like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like bringing the Punisher over and then dropping it down to PG-13 or Deadpool at PG-13. All those properties, they're not meant for it. They're meant to be harder and edgier and more adult oriented. And just because Disney doesn't want to get their hands dirty, I mean, it's like, then don't do that. don't ruin the character simply because you need to you don't want to cross that line of the R rating.
Right.
I've said it a couple times. I think it wouldn't be so bad if there was in Disney Plus there was a section that was password protected, so kids couldn't get into it, and that's where all like the darker stuff would live.
Yeah, that's our plan. The last Investors Day, 2020, they was talking about as far as overseas. It's a app called Star or something like that. It's an international kind of Hulu type of thing, and they can put more mature rating stuff
right
on Disney Plus. Actually, now overseas, now in the States, we have Hulu, so they haven't merged that yet. But according to what Mikey was reporting, they're going to have more of a merging effect with Hulu, Disney Plus. Hulu will be kind of like that adult section.
See, and that would be great. Like Deadpool could go over there, Punisher could go over there, and you can tell
the 20th
darker
Century
stories.
Fox. Yeah, the 20th Century Fox label as well. They can do that more mature films. It won't technically be a Disney film. They own Fox now, so they can use it like that. I mean, that's how Free Guy came out through Fox,
right?
But
it was still a Disney movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's how they could do Blade and Deadpool.
And if we're thinking about this stuff, I mean, I find it hard to believe that they're not thinking about it, right?
Oh yeah, they got to figure that out.
They had to have known that. I mean, if you take characters that were on Netflix, right, you're not going to tell the same stories. So everyone needs to get that out of their mind, right? It's not going to be the same exact Charlie Cox as Daredevil. They're not going to pick up the story and just continue it, or at least in my opinion, they're not going to do that. They're going to it's going to be some variant. That way they can start fresh. That's okay. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. But I definitely want to see John Bernthal back. And then I really don't care about Kristen Ritter or Michael
or the
Colton.
Luke Cage. Yeah. I mean, Mikey just had an article up on Geekosity Mag about this, with the Netflix canon. Like that's, like you said, it's going to be new versions of the Charlie Cox, Daredevil. You can do the variant route if need be, but they can still cherry pick. Like, okay, in this world, we kind of like, we could do this still. I think and again, these are things that Mikey has been hearing. He was talking about Charlie Cox like 2019, dude. Like who's reporting about Charlie Cox? Now everyone, like I said, everyone's heard about it.
Right, it's the biggest topic.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool.
And Toby and Andrew, those three. It's almost ad nauseum at this point hearing about it. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna turn it off. I'll see you guys December 16th.
And then
we'll talk about it then. We'll talk about it then.
And then also the John Bernthal. Again, Mikey's hearing that. I think our friends on Small Screen as well, Edward Lauder, they're other insiders. They're hearing about John Bernthal, a Hulu series, so it'll be mature rated. It may have some Samuel L. Jackson connected to it, so it's gonna be a new
dope,
Punisher story.
Hell yeah, I'm all in on that.
So
all in on that.
That's what they talk about.
Yeah, dude, thanks for joining me tonight.
Cool, man.
And we'll have to do it again soon, very soon.
Definitely.
Maybe after Disney Plus Day we can start. Dude, I mean, what are you hearing for Disney Plus Day?
Yeah, we're going to be covering that. Me and Mikey. Of course, I got my main channel, Syl Abdul Inc. That's become more of the DC channel, just for different reasons. And then also have a second channel that's connected with that, that channel.
Yeah.
It's just Syl Abdul, and it's going to have everything. And we're going to cover more of Disney Plus Day. But Mikey's here, and it's going to be, we definitely see the Moon Knight footage, where I think it's cool. You're going to
get a glimpse of Moon Knight. Hell yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you'll definitely see, like, I guess a trailer. I guess that's what he's talking about.
Okay.
And then you're supposed to hear other announcements. Hopefully they're Daredevil, but we'll see. But
I think they would blow. Like, if they announce that Daredevil is coming back in whatever form, fashion it is, that already sets them way above DC fandom.
Yeah, because the thing is, Daredevil, with them bringing him back, it's not only his show that he's coming back for. You got him, of course, in No Way Home. He's going to be in the She-Hulk series, is what Mikey was hearing, and other scoopers was hearing, and the Echo series.
Yeah.
So he's connected to all of this, and then that's potentially Kingpin as well. That's so
Kingpin is rumored for
we may hear we may hear we may hear some stuff hopefully, or just confirmation. Hey, he's in She-Hulk. Here's the story for that. So it's a Disney Plus Day is going to be. I don't know how you felt about DC fandom overall, but Disney Plus Day is not going to pull any punches. So I'm looking forward.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Disney Plus Day. That's 6 or 7 days away. We'll definitely be watching it here as well. But definitely check out Syl as well, because I mean, it's going to be. I mean, people are going to be raving about it, man. Disney Plus Day. And that's not even, we haven't even touched the Star Wars topic, right? So
they got
forget
like 10
about
new
it.
shows coming out. Like
forget about it.
I mean, I guess we're gonna see footage of Hayden Christensen. I believe,
I've heard.
I think that's what Mikey said as well.
In the
that's
Kenobi
gonna break
show,
the internet.
Right? That's
breaking the internet.
So, whoo. All right. So Syl, I know you just said it, but where can everyone find you? And on what days?
Yeah, definitely. The channel, YouTube channel, Syl Abdul Inc. That's again the DC channel that we're trying to do, and then that's the label. Appreciate that. And then also have the Syl Abdul channel as well. Again, you can find that link on my main channel to the second channel. And that's going to be more of like the Disney, Star Wars, MCU type stuff that we're doing. And at Syl Abdul _Inc on Twitter. I usually update everything there. So appreciate you having me on.
Oh, of course, anytime. So guys, make sure to like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. You can become a member for as low as $2.99 a month if you want to help support the show. I had such a fun time, and we'll be back this weekend with a podcast episode on either Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember. I make the schedule and I forgot it. So
my schedule's so random, certain days, it just have your notifications on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, turn on the noties. Turn on them noties, so I don't even have to remind you. But as always, it was so fun to talk to everyone tonight. And special shout out to Mikey Sutton from Geekosity and Syl from Syl Abdul Inc. and the other Syl Abdul channel. I just blanked on what I was going to say.
We out.
We out. Till next time.